We often talk about wanting peace, success, and fulfillment, but the truth is, those things don't just arrive by accident. They are built moment by moment, choice by choice. And if you really want to transform your life, you must learn to control four powerful forces: your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Words are powerful in ways we often underestimate. Every time you open your mouth, you are either planting seeds that can grow into something life-giving or scattering words that can cause damage you may never be able to fully repair. Think about the last time someone spoke something encouraging to you. It might have been just a few words, but those words probably lifted you, gave you energy, or even changed the way you approached your day. On the other hand, recall the last time someone criticized you harshly or spoke to you without care. Those words likely lingered in your mind far longer than they should have, weighing you down and affecting your mood. This is the power of the mouth. It can heal or harm, lift or break, encourage or discourage. And that is why controlling your mouth is one of the most important disciplines you can master. Controlling your mouth is not about suppressing your voice or walking on eggshells around people. It is about choosing to speak with intention and understanding the impact that your words carry. So often, we allow emotions to dictate what comes out of our mouths. In anger, we lash out. In frustration, we complain. In jealousy, we criticize. And while those moments may feel temporary, the impact of those words can be lasting. Relationships are built and broken on the foundation of communication. What you say in a heated moment might stay in someone else's heart for years. You can't pull back a harsh sentence once it's spoken, just like you can't unring a bell. That's why it is vital to pause before you speak. A simple practice you can use is to ask yourself 3 questions before you let words out. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If what you're about to say doesn't meet these standards, maybe it's not worth saying. Think of it as filtering your speech through a lens of wisdom. This doesn't mean you sugarcoat reality or avoid difficult conversations. Sometimes the truth is hard, but it can still be delivered with care. For example, telling someone they've made a mistake can be done in a way that humiliates them or in a way that helps them grow. The difference lies in your choice of words, your tone, and your timing. Another area to consider is how you speak to yourself. The internal dialogue you carry daily shapes your confidence and your self-image. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," you reinforce that belief and limit what you are capable of. On the other hand, if you train your mouth to speak life into your situation, even when it feels uncomfortable, you start to rewire your thinking. Saying things like, "I am capable," "I'm still learning," or "I can handle this," builds resilience over time. The words you whisper to yourself in private matter just as much, if not more, than the words you speak publicly. Consider the ripple effect of your speech. When you speak positively and with encouragement, you create an atmosphere that inspires others to rise higher. People feel safe, valued, and respected when they are around someone who uses words well. On the flip side, negative words breed insecurity, tension, and distrust. Over time, people may distance themselves from you, not because of who you are, but because of how your words make them feel. Think about leaders, parents, teachers, or mentors who left an impression on you. What made them memorable? Most likely, it was the way they communicated. They either motivated you with uplifting words, or, if the memory is painful, they tore you down with criticism. Training yourself to control your mouth takes practice and patience. You won't get it right every time, but even small improvements, like pausing before responding, choosing gratitude over complaining, or speaking encouragement instead of criticism, can radically change the way others experience you. Over time, those intentional words not only shape the lives of those around you, but also shape your own world. The more discipline you exercise in your speech, the more influence you will have, and the more peace you will create in your relationships. Emotions are a natural and unavoidable part of being human. They're signals that something inside of us or around us needs attention. Anger may signal injustice, sadness may highlight loss, fear may warn of danger, and joy reflects alignment with something good. But while emotions are valid, letting them control your actions can create unnecessary chaos in your life. Many of the conflicts we experience in relationships, at work, or even within ourselves happen because we allow a fleeting feeling to dictate our behavior. Think about it. How many times have you said or done something in the heat of the moment that you later regretted? That regret is evidence that while the emotion was temporary, the impact of your reaction lasted far longer. Mastering your emotions does not mean denying them or pretending you don't feel. It means recognizing them, respecting them, and then choosing how to respond instead of allowing the emotion to take over. For example, when someone cuts you off in traffic, you may feel a surge of anger. If you let the anger control you, you might honk aggressively, yell, or even escalate into dangerous driving. But if you master that moment, you can acknowledge the anger without acting on it. You take a deep breath, remind yourself that this one driver doesn't deserve your peace, and move on. That's emotional control in action. The ability to pause is one of the most powerful tools for managing your mood. In that pause, you create space between the emotion you feel and the action you take. Without that pause, emotions rush straight into behavior. With it, you give your rational mind time to catch up and make a wiser choice. The pause doesn't have to be long. Even a few seconds can be enough to shift you from reaction to response. Over time, this practice builds emotional resilience, making it easier to remain steady no matter what life throws at you. Mood control also affects how others see you. People naturally trust and respect those who maintain composure under pressure. If you're someone who is quick to explode, sulk, or withdraw whenever emotions rise, people may view you as unpredictable. But if you are able to stay calm and measured, even in difficult situations, you become someone others look to for stability. Leaders, parents, and partners who master their moods create safe environments for others. People feel they can express themselves freely without fear of being met with volatility. It's also important to understand that controlling your mood doesn't mean suppressing emotions until they build up and eventually explode. That's not healthy either. True emotional mastery includes healthy expression. This could mean talking through your feelings calmly with someone you trust, journaling to release what's inside, or engaging in activities like exercise and meditation to regulate your state of mind. It's about channeling emotions in constructive ways instead of destructive ones. Your mood also shapes your inner world. If you consistently allow irritation, negativity, or discouragement to run unchecked, it can trap you in a cycle of discontent. But by managing your emotional state, you protect your mental health. When you choose to shift your mood with gratitude, reframing, or simply taking a step back, you train your brain to not dwell on negativity longer than necessary. Over time, this creates a more balanced, grounded, and optimistic mindset. Think of emotions like weather. They come and go, some more intense than others, but none of them last forever. You can't stop the rain from falling, but you can decide whether to carry an umbrella or stand in the storm unprotected. Similarly, you can't always prevent emotions from rising, but you can choose how to prepare for them, how to ride them out, and how to minimize the damage they cause. Mastering your mood is about being the driver, not the passenger in your emotional life. It doesn't mean you'll never feel angry, sad, or anxious. It means those feelings won't run your life. You acknowledge them, but you don't bow to them. You use them as signals, not dictators. And that distinction makes all the difference in living with peace, stability, and strength. Money is one of those subjects that touches every area of life, yet many people avoid talking about it or handling it with intentionality. The truth is, the way you manage your money reflects the way you manage your overall life. If your finances are chaotic, it usually points to a lack of discipline in other areas as well. When you learn to control your money, you gain not just financial stability, but also a sense of peace, freedom, and security that spills into every aspect of your daily living. Many people fall into the trap of letting emotions drive their financial decisions. Impulse buying is a prime example. You see something appealing, and without thinking about long-term consequences, you swipe your card or click buy now. In the moment, it feels rewarding, like you're treating yourself. But when the bill arrives or your savings account doesn't grow the way it should, the short-term pleasure reveals long-term regret. This cycle keeps people stuck living paycheck to paycheck, constantly feeling like they're running out of money, even if they earn a decent income. The issue isn't the amount of money coming in, it's the lack of control over how it flows out. Financial discipline begins with awareness. You need to know where your money is going before you can direct it toward where it should go. This means tracking your expenses, no matter how small. Those daily coffees, fast food runs, or little online purchases add up more than most people realize. By paying attention, you shine a light on spending patterns and identify areas where you can cut back without drastically changing your lifestyle. Small adjustments compound into big results over time. Once you build awareness, the next step is creating boundaries for your money. A budget is not a restriction. It's a plan for freedom. Many people resist budgeting because they think it limits their ability to enjoy life. In reality, it's the opposite. A good budget tells your money where to go so you don't have to wonder where it went. It allows you to enjoy spending on things that matter most because you know the essentials and future goals are already covered. Budgeting is like drawing lines on the road. It keeps you from swerving into financial accidents. Saving is another key piece of financial discipline. Without savings, any unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill, or even a broken appliance, can throw you into stress or debt. Saving consistently, even if the amount is small at first, builds a cushion that protects you from life's uncertainties. Over time, savings create opportunities, the ability to travel, invest in new ventures, or simply enjoy life without constant worry about money. The discipline of saving teaches you patience and foresight, both of which carry over into other parts of life. Financial discipline also involves resisting the urge to compare your situation with others. Social media often makes this harder, as people post pictures of new cars, vacations, or luxury items. What you don't see is the debt behind the scenes or the sacrifices they may be making to present that image. Chasing appearances leads to overspending and financial strain. True freedom comes from living within your means, building wealth quietly, and making choices based on your values rather than external pressure. When you learn to control your money, you stop being enslaved by it. Instead of money dictating your mood or limiting your opportunities, it becomes a tool you direct with intention. Imagine being able to make decisions based on what you truly want, not what your financial situation forces you into. That's what discipline creates, the ability to choose freely. Financial freedom is not about being rich. It's about having control. Control comes from planning, patience, and the daily choices to prioritize your long-term well-being over short-term impulses. By mastering your money, you take back control of your future, reduce unnecessary stress, and position yourself to live with stability and peace. Your mind is the control center of your entire life. Every action you take begins first as a thought. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your decisions, and your decisions shape the outcomes you experience. This means if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing the way you think. Too often, people underestimate the power of their inner dialogue. They assume thoughts are just private whispers that don't matter. But those whispers eventually turn into beliefs, and beliefs guide behaviors. If you constantly dwell on defeat, you'll approach challenges half-heartedly, already convinced you'll fail. If you consistently feed yourself empowering thoughts, you'll carry a mindset that pushes you to keep trying, even when things get hard. The human brain is wired to pay attention to negative experiences more than positive ones. This tendency was useful for survival when danger lurked in every corner. But in today's world, dwelling on negativity often keeps people stuck in cycles of stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. If you allow your mind to run unchecked, it will replay fears, regrets, and what-ifs until you're paralyzed from taking meaningful action. This is why controlling your mind is essential. Just as you wouldn't leave the doors of your home wide open for anything or anyone to come in, you can't leave your mental space unguarded for every thought to take root. You must decide what stays and what gets dismissed. Guarding your mind doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means filtering what you allow to dominate your attention. For instance, setbacks are inevitable, but instead of thinking, "This always happens to me," you can shift to, "This is a challenge, but I can learn something from it." The situation hasn't changed, but the thought you choose to focus on changes how you approach it. One perspective traps you in defeat, while the other empowers you to keep moving forward. Over time, training yourself to see possibilities instead of only problems builds resilience. Another critical part of mastering your mind is being mindful of what you consume. Just as your body reflects what you eat, your mind reflects what you feed it daily. If your inputs are filled with negativity, constant bad news, toxic conversations, or content that fuels fear and comparison, your thoughts will naturally lean toward doubt and worry. But if you intentionally consume books, podcasts, and conversations that expand your perspective, encourage growth, and inspire hope, your thinking shifts in a healthier direction. The people and information you surround yourself with either sharpen your thinking or dull it. It's also helpful to understand that your thoughts don't always need to be believed. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's true. Many people accept every thought as reality without questioning it. For example, if your mind says you're not good enough, you may take it as fact and shrink back from opportunities. But when you learn to challenge that thought, asking, is this based on evidence or is this just fear speaking, you weaken its hold over you. Thoughts are not commands, they are suggestions. You decide which ones get to stay and which ones get rejected. Training your mind is like training a muscle. At first, it feels difficult and unnatural to redirect negative thoughts or stay disciplined in your focus. But the more you practice, the stronger your mental control becomes. Techniques like journaling, meditation, and affirmations aren't just trendy habits, they are ways of reinforcing healthier thought patterns. Over time, they shift your mental default from criticism to confidence, from worry to problem solving. When you begin to master your thoughts, you notice a domino effect in your life. Challenges don't seem as overwhelming because you approach them with perspective. Opportunities don't slip by because you've convinced yourself you're unworthy. Instead, you step into them with courage. Relationships improve because you're not weighed down by insecurities that distort your interactions. Even your mood stabilizes because your thoughts are no longer constantly dragging you into cycles of doubt or anger. In short, by controlling your mind, you create the foundation for freedom. The path you walk in life is shaped not first by your environment or circumstances, but by the direction of your thoughts. And when your thoughts are disciplined, hopeful, and intentional, your destiny follows suit. Success is often celebrated as the product of talent, luck, or opportunity, but when you look deeper at the people who truly excel in their lives, a common thread appears: self-control. It is the quiet discipline behind every achievement, the ability to delay gratification, manage impulses, and stay focused on the bigger picture when distractions are everywhere. Without self-control, even the most gifted individuals can sabotage their own progress. With it, even ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things. Think about how many dreams have been derailed not because someone lacked ability, but because they lacked discipline. A person might have the skills to build a business, but if they can't control their spending, they may drown in debt before their venture takes off. Someone may have the intelligence to excel academically, but without the discipline to study consistently, they fall behind. Another may want healthier relationships, but if they cannot control their temper, their words and actions push people away. In each case, it's not talent or intention that fails them. It's the inability to exercise self-control in the moments that matter. Self-control often shows up in the small, unseen decisions long before it is visible in major achievements. Choosing to wake up early to prepare for the day instead of hitting snooze. Saying no to an unnecessary purchase when you're tempted to spend. Walking away from an argument rather than fueling conflict. Logging off social media when you know you need to focus. These moments may feel insignificant, but they build habits that form the backbone of long-term success. Success is rarely about one big decision. It is about hundreds of little ones made consistently with discipline. There is also a direct link between self-control and freedom. People often think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But true freedom comes from knowing you are not a slave to your impulses. When you can control your cravings, your reactions, and your habits, you experience freedom because nothing owns you. Food doesn't own you. Anger doesn't own you. Fear doesn't own you. You are free to choose your response rather than being dragged around by urges you can't manage. That kind of inner strength is what allows you to chase goals with clarity and determination. Of course, self-control is not about being rigid or punishing yourself. It is about aligning your actions with your values and your long-term vision. For example, if health is important to you, then exercising self-control might mean choosing a balanced meal over junk food, not because you're depriving yourself, but because you are honoring your value of health. If financial security matters to you, self-control means setting money aside for savings rather than indulging in unnecessary luxuries, not because you can't enjoy life, but because you value stability more. When your discipline is tied to your deeper values, it becomes easier to sustain because it's not just about rules, it's about purpose. Another reality about self-control is that it doesn't come naturally, it must be trained. Just like a muscle, it strengthens with consistent practice. The more often you resist an impulse, the easier it becomes to do so next time. Conversely, every time you give in without thought, you weaken your ability to resist in the future. This is why building discipline is a daily process. You don't wake up one morning with perfect self-control. You build it decision by decision, habit by habit, until it becomes part of your character. What makes self-control the foundation of success is that it underpins every other area of growth. Without it, your goals remain dreams. With it, your dreams become plans, and your plans turn into reality. It keeps you steady when challenges come, focused when distractions call, and patient when results take time. The people who rise to their highest potential are not those who always feel motivated, but those who have disciplined themselves to keep going even when they don't feel like it. That quiet consistency, built on the foundation of self-control, is what ultimately leads to lasting success. Life is rarely about mastering one thing in isolation. It is about bringing multiple areas into harmony so that they work together instead of against each other. When one part of your life dominates at the expense of others, imbalance is created, and over time, that imbalance drains your energy, clarity, and sense of direction. True purpose emerges not when you pour everything into one area while neglecting the rest, but when you bring balance to the parts of yourself that matter most. Your words, your emotions, your finances, and your thoughts. Balance is not about perfection, it is about alignment. It is the art of ensuring that no single area is pulling you so strongly that it derails the rest of your life. Imagine someone who is financially successful but emotionally unstable. They may have wealth, but their relationships suffer because their mood swings or poor communication drive people away. Another person may be calm and kind, but cannot control their spending habits. The financial stress they carry overshadows the peace they've built in other areas. Someone else may be disciplined in their work, but constantly allows negative thoughts to consume them, leaving them trapped in self-doubt despite their accomplishments. Each of these examples shows that success in one area without balance in others leaves you unfulfilled. Purpose is not found in extremes, it is found in balance. Balance requires awareness of what is happening in your life at any given time. It means paying attention to your habits and asking whether they support or sabotage your well-being. Do your words reflect the person you want to be? Do your moods align with the environment you want to create? Does your handling of money bring peace or stress? Do your thoughts empower you or limit you? These questions help you recognize where you might be leaning too far in one direction and where adjustments are needed. Balance is not something you achieve once, it is something you maintain continuously by checking in with yourself and making course corrections. One of the biggest misconceptions about balance is that it means giving equal time and energy to everything. In reality, balance is about giving the right amount of time and energy to the right things at the right moment. For example, during a financial crisis, balance may require you to focus more heavily on money management for a season, but not at the expense of completely ignoring your relationships or health. Likewise, during a personal challenge, you may need to focus on emotional stability, but that doesn't mean you abandon discipline in other areas. Balance shifts depending on your season of life, but the principle remains the same. No single area should be neglected to the point where it creates lasting damage. Purpose becomes clearer when balance is present because balance prevents chaos from clouding your vision. When your emotions are steady, your mind is clearer. When your finances are in order, you are free to pursue opportunities instead of being tied down by debt or stress. When your words are controlled, your relationships are stronger and more supportive. When your thoughts are disciplined, you have confidence to move forward with intention. All of these areas working together create a foundation where you can see your path more clearly and pursue it without unnecessary distractions or obstacles. Balance is not easy, and it is not something you arrive at once and for all. Life constantly pulls at you with responsibilities, desires, and challenges, and balance requires ongoing effort to maintain. But the effort is worth it because balance gives you a sense of peace in the present and clarity for the future. It allows you to live with purpose, knowing that the different parts of your life are working together instead of fighting each other. When you find that rhythm, you stop merely surviving and start thriving. You no longer live in reaction to chaos, but in response to clarity. Balance doesn't just support your purpose, it unlocks it.